look, I think we have to accept it now that we can't honestly have any self-respect because, and I'm including myself in this, all of us, certainly in the West, I mean, when I talk about the West, I talk about the United Kingdom and the US in particular. I don't really know about kind of how much or how little people in, for example, Europe know, although my guess is that they know exactly as much as we do, if not more. I have to say what I do know is that the media in the UK is perhaps the most controlled out of all the media, because you don't even get the two sides of the argument, I mean, which are both the same argument, let's be clear, but they're presented in two slightly different ways that you get in the US, with CNN and Fox, for example. But over in the UK, you kind of just get one version, one false version of reality, a fake version. But you know what? There's enough information out there now that, in fact, even if you were just to listen or read the fake version of reality from mainstream media, and I'm going to talk about the UK for a second, in the UK and actually in the US, you know now, like I do, like I've known for a long time, that there's genocide committed in Israel, in Gaza. And we're not talking about a few thousand people. We're talking hundreds of thousands of people. A lot of them are children. We all know this. And yet we're not doing anything about it. And then the question is, well, what can you do about it? Well, that's my question to you, because like you, right, I am a citizen of this country. I am not proud of this country. I never have been, frankly. I've never understood what the fuss was about with countries like the UK. But, the reality is, here I am, just like you. We're fucked. Okay, so we're in this country, in the West, in our countries, and we have been fucked over. So what are we going to do about it? That's the question I have for you listening to me, is not what I'm going to do about it, but what are we going to do about it? What exactly will we do to ensure that we don't allow this to continue? Because we are effectively, with our taxes that we pay, we are funding these crimes. So we're not just turning a blind eye to them. We're not just effectively electing. I've never voted, I'll be quite clear, in my life. But we're not, if you do vote, it doesn't matter, but you're kind of saying, I vote because I have the choice. You don't have any choice. You should know that by now. You don't have any fucking choice. It doesn't matter whether Labour, Conservatives, Lib Dems, whatever other fucking party, the Green Party, any of them, they're all completely controlled and they're all corrupt. And so therefore you have no choice. So what do we do about that? Because if you're like me, I feel tremendous anger, and I have to say a sense of impotence that I can't personally go out and do something to stop. I mean, I could go to Gaza, I guess, right? But the reality is I'll just get killed. So, I won't be able to do anything. I won't make any difference. Even if there was 100 of us went, we wouldn't be able to do anything. So the question is, what do we do? I don't know the answer to that. But I'll tell you now, if we don't do something, and I guess I'm addressing this to, kind of those people who are, you'd call adults here, who have got children or are certainly old enough to be thinking, well, I'm going to have children soon. I mean, I wouldn't personally if I could go back in time now, because of what I can now see in this world. I knew a fair bit in 2014, which is when I had my children, but I didn't, 2011, but I didn't know enough, right? If I'd known what I know now, I would have had serious concerns about bringing a child into this hellhole that we live in. There's no redeeming features about this. And I have to say, I'm going to go on a bit of a rant here. In America, you Americans need to stop being so focused and fixated on money. It's the thing that I find incredible is how you will openly talk about you'll talk about disaster situations, or you'll just talk about the end of the world coming. I'm talking loosely speaking. And what you'll do is you then move on to money, right? and you talk about how to make either how to make money off it or how to protect your money. And I find that incredibly stupid, because what the fuck are you going to do with your money? What are you going to do with it? Right? If we're in some gulag, if we are effectively in concentration camps, for want of a better word, because that's what really a smart city is a euphemism for, is a concentration camp. Okay, so if we're in that situation, what's your money going to do for you? It's going to do nothing for you. The only people that money does anything for are the people who own money. So the people who print it. So all the people who are so rich they don't even need money. The money means nothing to them. I mean, I laugh. I kind of think it's incredible. The people who do their videos and they put adverts in for gold, Noble Gold, I think it is, whatever, this company. And you can buy precious metals and gold or crypto. And I think, what the fuck are you going to do with your precious metals, your gold, your silver, if we're in the situation where we're kind of in some kind of apocalypse, either a 23rd apocalypse, I know means the disclosure of everything, but I guess I'm talking about apocalypse in the sort of the misinterpretation or wrong definition of that word, which is the end of the world, kind of the post-apocalyptic, I guess, post-disclosure. So the world where, the world that looks nothing like it does now, because your bar of gold, it's going to do nothing for you. And that's if you've even got your bar of gold, right? So if you've trusted the ownership of your... I find this amazing that people are so naive, that people have actually got, they've got money invested in precious metals. They haven't even got them, right? So those precious metals are sitting in a vault somewhere. Well, what are you going to do? How are you going to get to that? So if there was an EMP strike, right, or something happened, the government puts total lockdown on, what are you going to do, right? How are you going to get to your gold? And then let's say if you can get to it, it's in some location, right, some vault. And let's just say by a miracle, they're the people that work there. It's actually open. You can go in, even though there's been a lockdown, right? But let's just say they're in, and they say, yeah, come in, come and get your gold. So what are you going to do with it? You're going to stick it in a bag, sling it over your shoulder, are you? And then who's going to be interested in your bar of gold? What's it going to do for you? Can you take it in and spend it? No. So this is my point, is people, certainly in America, are just so hung up on money that they've just enabled themselves to become, they've just become the biggest kind of fools that I can possibly imagine. And I just think that anyone that does a video where they're advertising buying precious metals, they're just a scam artist, right? And I have no issue with calling them out on that, or crypto even more so, because the original idea of and concept of crypto was great, but a long time ago that was completely taken over, right? So it's no more valuable. It's got no more intrinsic value than your bank balance. Right, so when you go and pay with your card and, you say, I've got X amount of money in my bank account. You've got fuck all in your bank account. What you've got is some digits on a screen. Let's be clear about it. And at whim, at someone's discretion, that can just be removed, right? Or it can be made unavailable to you. So you can look on your app, on your banking app, and you can think, hey, look at that. I've got all that money, but I can't spend it because I've been naughty. Back to my point, though. Okay, what are we going to do? In the UK, we've got the royal family. These people that, unbelievably, you have members of the public in their thousands, tens of thousands, who will still come out and watch and applaud and curtsy and wet their knickers over the sight of King Charles or Prince fucking Andrew or not Prince Andrew, William, any of that lot. Look, these guys, they're all perverts or they are thieves and criminals. They're fucking you over. They're fucking me over. All of us. We're all fools and we're idiots. And I say we because I include myself in this because I'm doing nothing either. I'm putting a few videos out. But frankly, these videos are more about me just getting this off my chest than anything. I don't have some expectation that my video is going to make a fucking difference because it isn't. All right, none of these videos from any of these people who are talking about this stuff on YouTube or Rumble or any of these other platforms, none of us are making a difference. Because if we had made a difference, if there was, and I've been putting videos out on different fucking channels on YouTube, for which I have lost the names, I've lost the passwords, hence why I'm on this channel, and it's been pretty much a dead channel for a long time, because I just gave up in the end, because I kind of saw the writing on the wall that, yeah, this isn't about actually trying to change people, because people won't change. And I saw that during COVID. I saw how completely fucked we are during that COVID situation, because I personally witnessed people just caving, just doing as they're told, in the face of completely irrational mandates. Yeah, the type of mandate that says you must, when walking into a coffee shop, let's say it's Costa Coffee, you must go in, if you're standing up, you must wear a mask. When you sit down, you can take it off. I mean, this is like, you know, that old, is it a parable? Yeah, the king without any clothes. Yeah, the king who has no, I can't remember what the actual story is, but yeah, the guy's out there, no clothes on, but no one says anything. That's exactly what we're in now. Okay, so no one is saying anything. People haven't got the balls. Now, I have to say, the one thing I can say is that I did, and I was very vocal, and I'm not just talking I was vocal as a keyboard warrior or on video. I was vocal every day. I was arguing every day. I was in conflict with people every day, okay, outside in the real world. And that is not my natural and preferred way of interacting in real life, because I just don't particularly enjoy conflict, and I try to avoid it. In fact, I just don't enjoy the company of people that much, because I've never really come across people who have any real depth to them. Okay, and I'm going to include women in this as well, because I probably wouldn't have done in the past, but I think that's true. I think the majority of women haven't got no depth. Do you know what? My first wife, she, a very intelligent woman, academically intelligent, and she contacted me out of the blue. I mean, I haven't spoken to this woman for a long time, right? And she contacted me out of the blue the other day on an email. And on that email, she was waffling on about stuff. I can't remember what she was talking about, really. It was bizarre. But anyway, I went back and I just got it onto the subject that I wanted to talk about. I thought, okay, well, if you're contacting me, I'll contact you. I'll reply to you. And I just want to understand whether you took the jab. And of course she did, right? And I remember back when we were married, one of the first things she wanted to do as a married couple was have dinner parties. You know, invite people over and do all this kind of dressing up and pretend that we're adults and that we're going to have a dinner party and socialise with a nice bottle of wine. And that never appealed to me. I actually said to her, I said, why? I don't want to do that. You know, if I'm going to have people over, I just want to do what we want to do. I don't want to fuck about pretending to be something I'm not. But you see, that's that. I mean, she wasn't even programmed that way. Her parents weren't like that. So that was just her growing up, deciding, I want that kind of life. I want that false version of life where we have this kind of social etiquette and structure where I can feel good. You know, I can impress people with my cooking. She couldn't, by the way. In fact, that one time we actually had a dinner party, if you can call it that. She took a whole chicken out of the oven. And I laugh about it now, but my God, she was in tears, right? She took it out of the oven and she dropped it and it fell on the floor. It was just rolling around. Anyway, so sorry, I was just amused myself with that memory. So look, I'm just going to say this to you, and it's a depressing video, I know that, but fuck you, right? Because I think we have to wake up. You know what, look, yes, there is something we can do, if I'm being absolutely upfront with you. The thing we can do is just stop fucking complying with stuff. Okay, stop saying yes. So the next time they try and push something like a mandate on you, just fucking ignore it. That's all you have to do, is just ignore it. And I have to say, you know, we've all got to bite the bullet around paying taxes, because what we are doing is we're funding illegal activities. And it's not like this is back in the day when I might have known, with my kind of clear cognizance, I might have known that with this country, you know, would be willing to do illegal stuff, our leaders, because they're paid for by other people. Now everyone knows. We all know So, for example, Keir Starmer, but let's be clear, it could have been Boris Johnson, whoever. Keir Starmer has been helping Israel in the mass murder of hundreds of thousands of innocent people. We now know, everyone knows that, right? Because that's been on television, so everybody knows that. And yet we're all paying taxes. So those taxes directly fund that illegal activity. So my challenge to you is, at what point do you say, fuck it, I'm not going to pay my taxes anymore? Not because I want to screw the system, but because I don't want money from my pay packet being used to enable the murder of innocent people. Because that's what is happening, and it's what's happened. It's happened. I mean, unfortunately, when it comes to Gaza, it's done and dusted. It's been done. It's happened. They've gone ahead and done it. Okay? And for people like me who've been aware of this for a long time, you know, you have to carry that weight of guilt, because fundamentally I still feel like, you know, what could I must have been able to do something that I've not done. Could I have done more videos? You know, my view about doing more videos on YouTube or wherever was, what's the point? Because I only want to do a video. I'm not doing it for views. I'm doing it for, you know, to get information out, you know, and if one person gets it, great. But the reality is there are people still out there who are doing better videos. There's no point just repeating that message that they're giving. The reason I'm doing this video specifically is because I don't hear many people being this blunt about stuff and being so openly critical of myself, yeah, as in the person doing the video, but also the person viewing it. Okay, so you have to ask yourself the question, what the fuck have I done that I can be proud of at the moment? Because I bet you haven't done anything. That's my challenge to you. Now, if you think you have, put it in the comments. Prove me wrong. All right? If you're going to put a stupid comment on there, well, fuck you, because I'll just remove your comment. Simple as that. Okay? All right. Bye.